Hi everybody, this is Connie from All Things Connie. Today I'm making banana bread in my Instant Pot. I do that a lot because I don't want to heat my house up. I make all kinds of breads and stuff in my Instant Pot. And so let's get started. So I first started with, I put 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. Now in this part I do mess up a little bit, but it didn't make any difference. This part was good. I put the sugar in, and then after that I put 1/4 cup light brown sugar packed in there, and then 2 large eggs, and I mashed them up. I also put the 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. I'm not sure if I put it in right then or not. I ended up putting it in, but I was supposed to put all the wet ingredients first and mix it up, and I did that, but then I forgot the sour cream and some other stuff, but it didn't matter. It all came out in the end. Also, it calls for 3 ripe bananas. Now, when we have bananas a lot in our house, and they start to turn and go black, I throw them in the freezer. And so these ones that I'm using here is from the freezer, and so they're really super soft, so I don't have to mash them beforehand because they mash up really easy. Now if you just had ripened ones, you would have to mash them, but the freezer breaks them down more. Now the recipe calls for 55 minutes, and with this recipe I have to do about 15 extra minutes, 10 to 15 minutes extra, because it takes a little bit longer for it to cook because the bananas are a lot moister when they're had been frozen than if they were just just ripened. So you'll see these just kind of slide right out of this peel, and there's not a lot of mashing. They're really super soft. But I really love this this recipe, and literally it's supposed to cook 55 minutes, and with these bananas I put like 15 extra minutes, so it has more time to finish cooking, and it doesn't dry it out by doing the extra minutes because it's in the Instant Pot, which is got moisture in there, and that keeps the pressure up, and it's it's much better if you when it's this kind of bananas. Now even if you used regular bananas and it came out, you checked it and it was still soft in the middle, you can put it back in the Instant Pot for however many minutes you need. Yes, it takes a little bit longer because it has to come back up to pressure, but it doesn't hurt it. So I'm just taking a fork now and I'm mashing. Now this is when I was supposed to have the vanilla as well as the sour cream in, and I had forgot, so it's okay. Now this I use is supposed to be unsalted butter, and it's yes, a 1/2 cup, and I did not have any, so I had to use margarine. I use margarine some. I'm trying to get away from it, but my husband loves margarine, so I keep butter in the house too, but I had ran out. So you just mash this all together. I'm using a fork to get it all mashed up. And while I'm doing this, if you are a returning subscriber, I am so glad you are here. And if you're not, consider subscribing. It's no cost to you, but it helps this little channel start to grow. I do have a second channel, my original channel. I'll leave a link in the description box, as well as I will leave this recipe down there so you don't have to try and write it as it's on the screen. I did put it on the screen for you, but I don't have all the information for you on here. So yeah, I am just getting this mixed up with a fork, and then I will start putting all of the dry ingredients in. And I'm not sure if I put the vanilla in yet, but yeah, it doesn't matter if you put it in before or after. In my opinion, it doesn't have any effect on on it at all. So after I get this all mixed up is when I just figure out that I need to start adding the dry ingredients. But I remembered I needed to get those eggs. You have to put the eggs in after. So I just get the eggs in there, and it's just 2 eggs, and I just crack those in there, and then I beat them so that they combine and get integrated into the batter a lot better. So my other channel is called Connie's Creative Creations, and I will have a link for that in the description box as well. And yeah, so I am putting away the cold stuff because I don't want it sitting out, and or the eggs and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and use the same fork again so that I can mix it up. Oh yeah, and now I'm putting the vanilla in, and that is 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract that I am putting in the mixture. And then I'm going to beat that all up, and then I will start adding the dry ingredients, and then I realized I forgot sour cream, so I put it in there as well. So no big deal. It worked out perfectly, so I was able to combine it in with no problem at all. So if you like DIYs and crafts and all kinds of things like that, check out my other channel. I would love to have you there, as well as if you do hit that subscribe button on this channel, leave me a comment. And if you hit that notification bell, if you click it twice, you can click on all, and you should be subscribed to all of my or you should be notified of all of my videos. You don't always get notified. You're supposed to, but it doesn't always happen. But you should. Let's just put it that way. So here is when I start doing the dry ingredients, and it's 2 cups all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of kosher salt, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And when I realize I don't have the sour cream in there, that is when I put the sour cream in, and that is 1/4 cup sour cream. So I love to bake, and everybody's been telling me, all my friends, Connie, you need to videotape yourself doing your baking. So I have thought, well, I've done a few things, and I'll do more on this one. I love to bake bread, all different kinds of breads, so I'm going to start doing those as well, so that you get to see me make bread. I need to hurry and do that before it gets too warm in the house, because I don't usually make bread in the house in warm weather, because it literally heats up the house unless I do it early, and I'm not an early riser, so yeah, that doesn't usually happen. And I have to make the dough the day before, and then have my husband set it out and rise it in the morning so that I can get it baked in the morning. It gets really hot here in Kansas in the summertime, and humid, so I don't usually like to use the oven much. I do have an air fryer. I have the Instapot that helps so that I can cook things so I don't have to use the oven so much. And this is when I realize, oh, I forgot the sour cream. And so I go ahead and I put it in, and then I get it all mixed up. Okay, now I'm going to get this all mixed up, and I use a spatula, a rubber spatula, so that I can get it mixed up perfectly smooth. Now it's going to have little clumps, it always does, but it dissipates when it's cooking, and it spreads in, so there's no issue. You don't find pockets of ingredients while you're eating it. So, I'm just going to add those ingredients, the rest of the ingredients, the 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1 teaspoon baking powder, half a teaspoon of the kosher salt, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and then I mix it up so that I can get it ready to go into the pan. Now, the pan is a 7x3 spring pan, like it's a cheesecake pan, so it's a spring pan, and you can get that at Walmart has it sometimes. You can order it for them, but I ordered mine from Amazon, and I will leave the Amazon link in the description box if you don't already have one. The reason you need that size is so that it will go down into the Instapot without touching the sides. Plus, it has to sit on the sling, so that it has to fit into the sling. So that is why it turns out to be a round bread instead of oblong or a square. So I'm just finishing up getting these ingredients in here, then I'm going to mix it up. Now, after I get it mixed up, I will put it in that pan. Now, I use olive oil pan spray, and so I spray the whole inside of the pan, and that keeps it from sticking, and it doesn't stick at all. There's no sticking to this pan at all. So here I am just getting it all integrated and stirred up. Now that I am getting putting everything away, got the Instapot out, put the water in the bottom, here's that pan. You can open it, the bottom does pop up, but I don't usually have to open it the way you release it. So here I am using the olive oil spray, pan spray. I do it over by the sink so it doesn't get in the batter. And this is the brand that I buy of the olive oil. It is from Sam's Club, and so I get it in packs of 2. So now I am just going to pour the batter down in here. Now, one thing I forgot to do, and I don't show doing it, I put the bread down in it. I put the lid on it, started it, turned off my camera, and realized I forgot the tinfoil. So I didn't film myself. I stopped it and pulled it back out and put the tinfoil over it. That way the top of your bread doesn't get water on it, because the water is underneath it, and when it becomes pressure, pressurized, the water is all over, and so there's water on the tin foil when you take it out. So I didn't want you don't want the water getting on your bread, and you'll see me take the tin foil off when I pull it out of the Instapot. So once it goes in here, I just kind of smooth it out, and then I grab that sling. Now the sling, I did get mine at, or my daughter gave it to me, but it is on Amazon, and so I'll leave a link for that. But you can get it at Walmart. Not all the time. I've seen it there. But you can get it on Amazon. And it's not a pricey thing. And I use it a lot. I use the trivet and I also the sling quite often for different things that I have to lower down into the Instapot. But a lot of times the trivet I use a lot of times for like meat. I lower down because you don't want meat right on the bottom. It'll burn. So here is the pan in that trivet, and you can see I'm not putting tinfoil on it. It has a little snap thing. Not snap, just a way it hooks together. And then I just lower it down into the Instapot. And then I realized after I started it that, oops, I forgot the tinfoil. So I take it back out and add that tinfoil. So the water's already in the bottom of the Instapot. So I will lower it down in, and you put the lid on. You make sure it's on sealing, not venting, and you set it for 55 minutes. But if you use frozen, I add 15 minutes more on it so that it's not doughy in the middle. And you kind of have to try it out and see. You can do the 55 minutes, and then you can poke a hole, or poke it in. The problem is once you do that, it takes about 10 minutes to get back up to pressure. So for me, I've just learned that if it's frozen, because I do zucchini bread too, and it's frozen, and that's a lot of moisture, so I always have to add more minutes. I would probably never do 55 minutes, even if it was just ripe bananas. I would still add at least 5 to 10 extra minutes, because it's not going to hurt it. So this is after it's been done. You let it naturally release for 15 to 20 minutes, and then you click it over and let it the rest of it do to release. Now you saw all that water. If you hadn't put the tinfoil on, your bread would be wet on top, and you don't want that. So I just opened up got the tin foil off, and you let it sit. You take the foil off and you let it sit like that in the pan for 10 minutes. Then what you do is you grab a sturdy cup. I use a big fat round cup, and you sit it on the counter, and then you pull the pan up and sit it on top, and you push the outer part. You'll see me do it right here. You pick it up, you just slide it down, and it just releases. And you can take the bread off of the underpan. I don't. I just leave it on until the bread is all gone, and then I wash it. But that is easy to do. You can put those in the dishwasher. Yeah, it's a very easy recipe. It's very good. It's very delicious. Please let me know in the comments what you think, as well as if you would plan on doing this. And as I say at the end of every one of my videos, call somebody, tell them you love them. They might want to hear it. You guys all have an extremely blessed day and week, and be the Bible that somebody reads today. Bye.